I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of June 17th, 2015. And we're here with the best comics out this week. Lots to choose from, lots of new number ones from DC, as well as Secret Wars titles from Marvel. And that's where I'm going to start with Thors, plural, number one. This is a Secret Wars book written by the regular writer of Thor, Jason Aaron, artwork by Chris Sprouse, and it is just all kinds of awesome. We've seen the Thors, the Thor Corps, I guess they're just called the Thors in Secret Wars. Thors. In the first 3 issues of Secret Wars and several of the miniseries, and now they get their own miniseries. And for those of you that don't know, the Thors, it's very hard to say, are the peacekeeping force for God Doom.
I don't think it's the Thors. I think it's just Thors.
It's just Thors?
Because they're basically using it interchangeably with cops.
Yeah.
So if you would say cops, you'd say
now
Thors.
I hear the Bad Boys music
right.
playing in my head. So they are God Doom's peacekeepers, and everyone seems to hate them. You should like law enforcement.
F the police.
Oh, you're going to hell. Thor's number one focuses, of course, on Thors, and we get lots of recognizable Thors in here. We get Beta Ray Bill, we get the Ultimate Thor, we get Storm Thor from the X-Men New Mutants, or X-Men Alpha Flight storyline.
It was a New Mutant storyline. She still had it.
It was X-Men.
It crossed into New Mutants too. It may have been an Alpha Flight as well, but I read
Odin is apparently the chief of Thors.
Okay, that was Odin?
I think so, yeah.
I thought it might be Old Man Thor from
it
the
could
future.
be Old Man Thor.
It's
an old guy with long white hair and an
one
eye
eye.
patch, so it could be either one. It could also be Nick Fury. We're not entirely sure. But there's a murder mystery, and it's all very Thor-centric. So if you're a fan of Jason Aaron's writing on any of the Thor books that he's done, this is a must-buy as far as I'm concerned. Very much a police procedural. So you've got Beta Ray Bill and Ultimate Thor are partners, and they're the lead investigators on this string of murders. And I don't want to say too much more without giving things away, but all you need to hear really is Jason Aaron writes a bunch of Thors, and it's a kind of police procedural, and that should suck you in. So I should mention that Josh and I both picked this as our pick of the week this week. That's just how good it is.
Yeah, and I think Jason Aaron should be applauded for this because he managed to do a serious, murder mystery while at the same time having a frog as one of the characters, and all kinds of references to Marvel history, but blended in a way that they're not obtruse, they don't stick out.
Yeah.
He did a wonderful job. Secret Wars was worth it, if only because it allowed this story to be told.
And the Thor Frog of Thunder, who is called Throg. In this, is actually a crime scene, is a lab technician, or is the person in charge of analyzing DNA and things within the Thor department. Just so good.
All right, first up for me this week, we've got Empty Zone from Image. This is number 1, written by Jason Sean Alexander, with art by... Why wouldn't you put credits in the front of your book? Let's try the back of the book. He's doing both. He does everything. Jason Sean Alexander, all over the place.
Jason Alexander does it all. That's the guy from Seinfeld. Right?
Yes. You mean the guy from the TV movie's version of Cinderella by Roger Hammerstein?
From Pretty Woman?
Yes, from Pretty Woman.
Okay. This isn't the same person.
It's not related at all. Probably. But this is a... God, I don't even know how to compare it. It's a sci-fi story about... the meaning of memory. It shares some similarities with like Blade Runner, where it's about the nature of humanity, but it's actually very cool, ultra-violent hitman porn stuff with cool cyborg people in a weird futuristic setting, and it was just a thrill ride and a lot of fun from start to finish. So if you like bizarre... Yes. If you like bizarre, futuristic think pieces that also involve extreme violence, Empty Zone is for you this week.
Next on my list of things you must check out, Dr. Fate, number 1, written by Paul Levitz, artwork by that guy.
Also Paul Levitz.
No, Sonny Liu. Dr. Fate's back in the DC universe, and we don't know...
Well, a Dr. Fate is back.
Yeah, someone wearing the helmet is back, which essentially makes them Dr. Fate.
I mean, it's not Kent Nelson.
Not Kent. No, we haven't seen Kent Nelson. Was he in Earth 2?
He might.
That's beside the point. Yeah. So this is a new person wearing the Dr. Fate helmet. It's an easy jumping on point for new readers, but also a great book for seasoned fans of Dr. Fate to pick up. Our new helmet bearer is a 20-something med student who is a descendant of pharaohs and apparently worthy of wearing the helmet. They don't even call it the helmet of Naboo or whatever it was.
The name Naboo might come up once, but they don't refer to it as the helmet of Naboo. No.
He starts seeing things. He's got exhibits at a museum that start talking to him and say that he's the chosen one. There's a talking cat. There's this weird animal in the beginning. It's like a deer or something.
No, it's
a dog.
It's
dog. Anubis.
Yeah.
Okay. So heavy on Egyptian lore and mythology. But the cool part is this guy who's texting his girlfriend about all the weird stuff that's going on and is very unwilling to be the bearer of the helmet. You get to meet his family. There's some good character development backstory that's going on here, but essentially Anubis is coming back to rule the earth, and this kid is the only one that can stop him, apparently. Written by Paul Levitz, as I said. I may sneeze. It's like there, but it's not going to come out now that I'm talking about it. Paul Levitz, who has been writing comics for longer than Josh and I combined, our combined age, we've been around. And I was a little hesitant because, he is an old school comic book guy. Emphasis on old. And I didn't know how he would handle a contemporary Dr. Fate with a new person, a new younger person in the role. And he really does an outstanding job. I was so pleasantly surprised by this. Didn't know what to make of it, but made it into my top 3. So I would definitely recommend it.
Now, also from DC this week, DC is reinventing themselves with all the number ones in the world. But Dr. Fate's a great example of taking a classic character, a classic mythos, and tuning it into a new generation. And we're getting some other examples of that. If you're enjoying stuff like Gotham Academy or the new Batgirl by Fletcher, this is where you want to live. Spinning directly out of that Batgirl, we get Black Canary -- 1, also written by Brendan Fletcher, with art by Annie Wu. And this picks up the last place we saw Dinah in
Someone's in the
Batgirl.
kitchen with Dinah.
Someone's in the kitchen, I know. But this show takes her on the road with a rock and roll show, and it's very it's not suspenseful. There's things going on, you're not sure exactly what's happening. It was much more interesting than I expected. I initially thought it was going to be kind of similar to like a Josie and the Pussycats, rocking and occasionally punching people. Wait, did they do that? Or was that Gem and the Holograms?
That's Gem and the Holograms.
One of those 80s people that punch people and sing. But actually, it really sucked me in with the story. Also, in that same kind of vein, we've got Prez. This is an alternate future. Well, maybe it's the real future, the way we're headed. 100 and change years and change in the future. People can vote via Twitter, and this is the story
Twitter's still around 100 years in the future?
Apparently.
Invest now, folks.
And you get a lot of political satire, you get a lot of hip kind of current references, and you get a lot of fun. Now, Prez is a character that was originally around in the 70s at DC. This doesn't seem
George
to be
Perez?
a rate. No.
This is the story of George Perez.
It is. Hawaiian shirts everywhere.
Perez.
But Prez was a lot of fun, and if you're enjoying Batgirl, you like that. And last up, in this run, we've got Doomed. First off, DC, market your books better. A title called Doomed with random people on the cover is not going to draw anyone in. But the book itself is actually quite good. Written by Scott Lobzell with art by Mr. Fernandez. Doomed is the story of a kid who lives the geek dream and grows up to get an internship at Star Labs and has the worst possible job at Star Labs. And because things never go right, who even insures Star Labs still?
I don't know.
Things are always going badly there.
Insurance.
But something goes bad, he gets powers, but it's very human, very modern. The kid's believable. I mean, he's excited about being there, but he's also a normal person. He interacts with girls, and there's other stuff going on, and it was just lots of fun. Much better than I expected.
Now, judging by the logo, does this have any connection to the Superman Doomed storyline at all? Because I think that's the same logo that they used for Superman Doomed.
He gets... maybe? The
Does
thing
he have,
that
like,
picks
doomsday powers?
No, he does. We don't know what his powers are at this point.
Okay.
He gets freaky, strange looking.
Freaky deaky.
And
so this is another one you may bypass as you're going through the new comics racks, but Josh is giving you a big thumbs up for it. I admittedly did not read it. Okay, so just a quick public service announcement. If you are a Ghostbusters fan at all, you definitely need to pick up Ghostbusters Get Real #1 from IDW this week. This is the meeting of the Ghostbusters with the real Ghostbusters, the cartoon series that was on in the 1980s. And that should be enough for you. The fact that the Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters interact in a comic book. Go get it. My final pick this week is The Fiction from Boom Studios, written by Kurt Pyers, artwork by David Rubin. This is the story. This is the story of a group of adults who, when they were children, found a magic book that would take them to various places, and they had adventures. There were 4 of them, but then after one of their adventures, there were only 3. One did not return and was apparently lost, and the adults in their lives and the people in the real world didn't know how to handle this missing child situation. As they grew older, they grew apart, and now they're being drawn back together again by the book re-entering their lives and one of the adults going missing. So that's starting with 4, then down to 3, now we're down to 2. So the 2 surviving adults get together to go after their missing friend. It's excuse me, kind of like a Stephen King It type of scenario, but also like a Harry Potter. I don't know, not Harry Potter, but it's definitely fantasy. It's very well written. Did I say that twice?
Written.
Well, ooh, this is a good episode. Yeah, artwork's good, story's good, characters are interesting. I want to see what happens next, and so should you. Pick up The Fiction #1 from Boom Studios.
And last for me this week, continuing our battle cry of love for Secret Wars, we've got Runaways #1, written by Noelle Stevenson, with art by Sanford Green. And this is in the land of doom. There is an academy where the best and brightest from all the different realms go, and this is about the Breakfast Club at that academy. A bunch of recognizable Marvel teen heroes, some slightly different because they come from different versions of reality, in detention, getting into trouble, living and dealing with working at an academy for doom. That's all. That's
Doomed.
Breakfast Club in the Marvel Universe. I don't know what more you want from me.
Breakfast Club in the Marvel Universe. There you go. It was very good.
Yes, there is actually one Runaway in it too.
Yes, I don't know. I would prefer the original cast of Runaways, but I'll take what we can get. I do recognize everyone in the book, so
that's not saying nothing.
That's a plus. Lots of cool stuff at the shop, at any shop. Well, we have a lot. Based on other shops I've been to, we may have more cool stuff than they do. But definitely hit your local comic shop up for some of these books that we've talked about, as well as lots of other fun stuff. I do want to give an honorable mention to Superman Wonder Woman that came out this week, which is the next chapter in the Truth storyline, which I'm really enjoying. I'm glad to be enjoying Superman again, because I feel like that's something I have to do as a comic shop owner. I have to like Superman, right? And it's being very well done right now. So that's it. What did you like this week? What's that? Leave it in the comments below. Maybe we overlooked something that we should be spending more time with. But we had a nice cross-section this week. We talked about DC, we talked about Marvel, IDW, and Boom, and Image. So there you go. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.